Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of From the Heart. I'm your host, Chloe Trca, and this is a podcast where we talk all things health, wellness, business, lifestyle, mindset. I pretty much walk you guys through every lesson and season of life I'm walking through, kind of like a big sister perspective to give you guys advice, teach you what I'm learning so you don't maybe have to walk through the same things that I did, try to make your life easier, and encourage you guys to live better, healthier, more joyful, packed lives. Today's episode is special. Okay, we're going to be diving into an episode for anyone who's felt stuck in their past, caught in comparison, or honestly just struggling with self-doubt. I've been in all of these. I've compared myself, I've doubted myself, and I've held shame to my past. And I want you guys to not have to go through that anymore, if you're struggling with this. So we're going to be unpacking 3 different truths. I found these, I posted these on Instagram, these 3 quotes, and they really got my brain going, okay? The first one is, your next move matters than your last mistake. The second is to not measure your progress using someone else's ruler. And the third is, doubting yourself is normal, but letting it stop you is a choice. So if you're ready to, get over the life of perfectionism and striving to be just picture perfect, never failing, and you just want to be able to walk confidently, like with where you're at in life, this is an episode for you, okay? So the first one we're going to get into is just talking about how your next move matters more than your last mistake. Again, like I said, I've dealt with shame and embarrassment, and I've let it hold me back, because it's hard to not beat yourself up over something you shouldn't have done. Me finding my faith and changing and completely becoming a new person, I still struggle with that of who I used to be, how I used to treat people, or how I used to talk, how I used to idolize certain things, the way I used to portray myself. There's shame attached to that, but I had to cut that tie, let go of that burden, break those chains, because maybe you've been carrying some of that. Maybe you've been carrying some guilt, some shame, and just regret over who you used to be or a decision that you've made in the past. But the truth is, your next move has the power to quite literally change and shift your entire life, the direction that you're going. And that's why your last mistake, it didn't cancel out your calling. It didn't cancel out the path that is set for you. If you're called somewhere and you made a mistake, that's okay. God's forgiving. We make mistakes. We're human. We're gonna mess up. It's not just a one mistake and you're out kind of game. One strike, you're out. That's not about that. Okay. There's still plans for you. I'm going to make this kind of tighter on my faith because that's what we do here. Okay. My faith is a big part of my life. But God has plans for us. There's a verse and talks about how he has plans to prosper us, how he has plans for hope and for our future. And don't take that lightly. Do not take that lightly. I feel it's easy to dwell on our past. The enemy has us in a trap sometimes. And I think it's easy to look back about what we used to have. It could even be something you wish you had, and you hold a resentment for your now self that you don't have that anymore. Maybe it was a body you used to have, or a boy you used to have, or a job you used to have. And you're sitting there and you're just upset because you don't have that anymore. Understand, dwelling does nothing but delay the progress of your life. So get over it. Move on, next play. My pastor always says that, next play, next play. You got to move on. When I was in volleyball, oh my gosh, it's a game of errors. I was not good at this because I did not have this concept understood very well, like I do now, but it's a game of errors, and I was very hard on myself. I'm very competitive, and every time I had an error, I would get so mad. It's embarrassing actually to talk about, as a junior in high school, I would be on the court, scratching my legs because I was so embarrassed, and I felt so much shame about the error that I made, which everyone on the team makes errors. It's a game of errors, but I felt so much guilt for it because I wanted to be the best teammate possible. And I didn't know how to explain that. So I would kind of show it. And that's what I do. I'm not good at communication. Sometimes I just show things so they know how I'm feeling without me having to say it, which is bad. Not good. But that's what I would do. Next play. Okay. Because I was only delaying my next play, the progress that I could make in the rest of the game, all of the wins that I could have had, all the good plays I could have had. I was holding myself back because I was throwing a pity party over the one error that I made. So in your life, there's probably times and experiences and things that you can relate to in that area, but understand dwelling and holding that shame and holding that embarrassment or that guilt, it's not preparing you to have a win by any means. What you need to do is take the right step, even if it's small, even if it's not a huge change, not a huge pivot, but something. It's giving yourself the ability to walk in the right direction and kind of redeem yourself. If I would have just shaken off the bad play and like kind of out of sight, out of mind, like forget about it, my next play probably would have been a lot better. And I would have played a lot better the rest of the game if I didn't have that like negative mood. If you played volleyball with me, very few of you listening probably did, but you know what I'm talking about. So I guess think about it like this. You don't need to fix everything at once either. So like, it's not like I got to fix every error on the volleyball court that I made. Like you can't. Or if you're a mom or a student or an employee and you made an error, you can't fix everything at once, but you can choose to take corrective action like as appropriate, as necessary. So I encourage you guys like in your life to just take a step towards healing or take a step towards obedience or take a step towards the person that you've been praying to become. Like if you have a vision board for 2025, like look back at that right now and have you like ask yourself, like, have I taken any steps towards that person? Or am I just like sitting here in shame because like I'm actually doing the opposite? Like if your goal was to run a half marathon and you ran for like 2 weeks and then quit and now you're just like throwing a pity party, like, oh, I tried it and I failed, like I can't do it. Like, no, get up and try again, you know? And just trust me that like obedience and faith will fuel your future. Your past doesn't. Like it has no, like let it go. There can be no ties, no strings attached to it if you don't let it like hold you back. It's hard to do though. It's really hard to do because our brains just don't like to let us do that. But like you actually do have the power over your mind, over your thoughts. Pray to God, ask him to release you from that because he will bring healing and he can break those chains for you if you feel like you can't yourself. And that brings me to number 2 or like the second part of this, and that is to learn to not measure your progress, okay, using someone else's ruler. We do this all the time on social media. Oh my gosh, the amount of times that I've looked at my progress, for example, my growth on social media. Kind of important considering my job is social media. But like I'm making progress every day, but I feel like it's not good enough because I'm comparing myself to other girls who do the same thing that I'm friends with, who have more progress. It's like someone else's win doesn't take away from your win. Like your win is still a win. If it's moving the needle forward, it doesn't matter the pace. It's not a race to get to a certain number before everyone else does. Like as long as you're making progress and becoming better, showing up better online, providing more value, being more true to yourself, being more engaging, building a more positive community, those are all wins. It doesn't matter what the number says, you know, it's about the impact that I can make. And so it's hard because comparison is so real and it's a thief of joy. Truly nothing will drain you more and delay you more in whatever journey it is than comparison. I swear it puts like freaking cement blocks my feet. Like because it gets your heart set in the wrong direction. And then it redirects your purpose for doing things because you're trying to beat someone else out rather than doing it because you feel called to do it, you know? And it just like puts a little like water on the fire, you know, it really dampens the fuel and the excitement and the motivation towards the goals that you have when you're just comparing, because then the wins don't feel as good. But it's like, I think that kind of stuff's like contagious. I think there's a lot of like momentum with wins. And if you let other people like dampen that momentum, if you let them dampen that fire and put a little water on the like fire, not fuel, like you're not going to get there. Like you just won't. So understand too, I saw this and it was saying someone else's highlight reel isn't your instruction manual. That's good stuff. That's a freaking quote right there. Someone else's highlight reel isn't your instruction manual. So like looking at whoever, whether it's me, because you guys probably follow me on Instagram or any other influencer you follow or any other girlfriend that you went to school with, their highlight reel, their whole social media is their highlight reel. Let's be real. No one's posting the lows and the downs. So if your whole instruction manual, your whole like vision and plan for life is based on their highlights, you're dooming yourself. You're setting yourself up to fail. Like that's just not, don't do that. Okay, don't do that. Their success has nothing to do with your success, okay? Their timeline has nothing to do with your timeline, okay? Their pace has nothing to do with your pace. You can't utilize other people's success to measure your own. You just can't, and it's so hard to do because we're human and we fall into that, but like learn to check yourself when you feel like you're doing that. Be success and progress, it's not a one size fits all. It's going to be different in every single season of life. Every goal that you're working towards, it all has a different pace set. But God sets that pace. So you got to trust in that and have faith in the pace that you're at because it's the pace you're supposed to be at. It's like on the treadmill to 7 and then you're running. Imagine you run too slow, you're flying off the back. If you run too fast, you're tripping over the front of it. It's like you got to stay on pace to what's set for you and have trust in that. Like you're going to get to the 10 miles. If you keep running at that pace, it might take you a little longer, might be a little quicker than the person next to you, but like you're both going to get there if you just stick to the pace and keep one step in front of the other. That was a good analogy. That came out of nowhere. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Anyway, I love like running analogies. I always use running analogies. I don't know why. If God wanted you to have their path, like he would have given it to you. So if God wanted you running at a speed 7, he would have said it at a speed 7. Maybe yours at a speed 7.7. Maybe you're a little faster. Maybe you need to get to your calling a little quicker because that's what just the calling is on your life. Maybe it's a little slower, but you got to trust in that, okay? There's beauty and purpose and intention behind your timing. So just trust in that. Trust me. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust God, okay? Because you probably don't trust me, but trust God. But I think, too, it's hard because the enemy's also in your head. And those are when you're having those, like, doubts and those insecurities of, like, I should be further along at this age. I should have more money in my bank account at this age. I should be married by this age. I should have kids already. I shouldn't be living at home still. I should have a degree by now. I should be smarter than this. Like, God doesn't put those seeds in your head. He doesn't speak those words into your head. That's the enemy. So just tell him to go to hell. That's what I do. When that's coming in my mind, I'm like, go to hell thought. It works. It works like a charm. Okay. Sorry if I'm talking really fast for this episode. My camera is dwindling. The battery's dying. Okay. Because we had to record 2 episodes today and I was not prepared for that. But anyway, we're rocking and rolling. Okay. I trust that God's going to keep this battery alive. I really do. But just literally out loud right now, you guys, this is going to sound weird, but like literally be like, no, I'm exactly where I need to be and I'm growing in the way I'm meant to grow. Believe that and trust in that every day. If you struggle with this, if you struggle with the timing and season of your life, say that out loud. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be and I'm growing in the way I'm meant to grow. Because God should be what you utilize to measure your life with, okay? Not somebody else's social media, not other people's opinions, not other people's progress and timelines, like just God, okay? Okay, friends, camera did in fact die, so we are here a little bit later if you're watching and it looks different. Anyways, if you're just listening, disregard that, and we're just going to keep trucking on. Anyway, so I did leave off right at the third topic I wanted to talk about, and that is doubting yourself is normal, but letting it stop you is a choice. So it's okay to doubt yourself. You know, it's okay to like have some like question when it's something new and something different, something you've never walked through. That's normal. That's human. But it's another thing to let that stop you. That's a choice. So letting your fear paralyze you and stop you from something that you're desiring or you feel called to go to or an opportunity, like that is you choosing to like let that win. Even the boldest people like you admire, you know, like me or someone like Alex Earl or whomever it is, like any idol you have. Well, I don't want to say idol, anyone you like admire. Trust me, they have felt unsure, they felt unfit, they felt unworthy, underqualified, they've questioned like their ability to do it. That's the human in us, but it was their choice to continue to truck on and continue on. And that's how they got to where they are. That's how they got to the level of whatever it may be, a success in that area, because they didn't let the fear stop them. So don't let it stop you. Because essentially what confidence is the absence of doubt. It's the decision to keep going on anyway. You have confidence when you don't let like what could happen or like the insecurity or whatever it is like stop you and create doubt or create any negative feeling. Again, like you might encounter doubt, but you don't have to like let it, like you don't have to welcome it. Like you can just kind of walk by it and dismiss it and keep moving on. Like I'm very visionary. So like I just can see like myself walking through life and like a wave of doubt hits me. It's like you don't have to let it take you out or like ride the wave. Like you can just kind of keep going past it. Again, like you can feel fear. You can experience fear, but what I encourage you to do is have faith anyways. That's where you're going to draw close, like to yourself and to God and to like the purpose that you have is when you have faith anyways. Like, yeah, we're going to encounter fear. That's like the inevitable. Doubt and fear are pretty much the inevitable. I would say it's safe to say most people are 100% confident in anything and everything. But because action builds trust, you have to allow yourself to take action and to build that trust because it's definitely a process. And it's okay to feel, like I said, it's okay to feel nervous. Don't think that's a bad sign. Like that's like the human side of you. And it's okay to maybe like have a question, like talk to God. A lot of times we have doubt, but it's like, take it to God and be like, God, why am I feeling like nervous about this? Or like, help me feel confident or give me faith. Like if you need more of that, ask him for that. Because God will, like I said, he'll equip you for anything he puts you to. So like if you listened last week, like the preparation is purposeful because it's getting you equipped. And so when you feel equipped and you're ready to step into that next thing, like do it with purpose because God sent you there. Like that's all the confidence you should need. That's more confidence than anyone should need because heck, if, like I said, if God has you there, like it's for a reason and it means you're ready to walk with him. You might feel underqualified and maybe you are, but that's okay because God's with you. Invite him into it and then like you can do anything, truthfully. So I want to remind you guys what we kind of went over today because it's a lot. I know I'm kind of talking fast, but it's just one of those days. I need to work on it. I'm working on it, but see, I'm aware of it. I'm just not aware of it soon enough. But before I wasn't even aware. So that's progress, right? Number one, your past doesn't disqualify you. Your next move is what matters. Okay. So don't let the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment stop you. Whatever you do next is truly what matters. And that's what's going to dictate your future. And your journey is yours, okay? So stop comparing the process to anyone else's. Don't measure your success by anyone else's success. It's not the way it should be, you know? And then again, remember, doubt's probably going to come, but courage is what moves you forward. So having faith, stepping into that, even though you don't know the outcome, but you have trust and you have faith and you have confidence that you're ready to take on whatever that is. Again, nothing has to be perfect, so don't have shame in your mistakes. Everyone's going to fail. Nobody's perfect. You don't need that to like move forward in life and to like level up and you don't have to be fearless, you know, like you don't have to feel confident and secure in everything. Like it's okay to be nervous. That means you're trying something new and that means you're growing actually. So that's like a good thing because the human thing in us is to have fear. So I feel like that's a good sign that you're going in the right direction if you're encountering that. Just don't let it be debilitating and stop you and just keep going. Okay. One step at a time, one little moment at a time. But if this encouraged you, share it, send it to someone you think might need it. I hope it can serve as a good reminder, a good little lesson, open your eyes, give you a new perspective. That's all I'm really trying to do here. But I just really want you guys to like not let your past define where you're going, because it really doesn't have any weight. You know, it's all about like the next step, the next move, and walk with confidence, even with fear. Like I said, fear is probably a good sign that you're going in the right direction. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening, and we will chat next week. Bye, guys.